And away we go. It is the Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you as always by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get you some delivery through Uber Eats or stop down in Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% on your order. Or maybe you can just go, like, if you can go down there and just play the trumpet, you think that would do it? Think that would get you 15%?
Only if you played Pump It Up by Trumpet.
I think that's fair. I'll talk to Shane about that and see if, you can still get 15% if you come down and play Pump It Up on trumpet. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're going to have to do a better job of paying attention to the inside world of Bearcat Journal. Anyhow, here we go. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. You want to go? You want to go the big news of the morning or early afternoon here, Aaron?
Yes.
A little non-conference scheduling for men's basketball. Do you have it ready to go, or you want me to pull it up?
I don't have it quite ready, but I can.
All right, I got it ready.
If you already have it.
And there we go. As you can see, Chaminade, a Division II school on November 7th. A lot of people are very upset about that, but
you muted.
I know I unplugged my microphone like an idiot. It's been a while. Am I good, or do I have to?
Your audio is a little wonky.
Yeah, that's because I unplugged it and
I have to plug it back in, change back the microphone. It's been a long day, bro. It's been a long day. Am I better now? Am I good? Can we continue?
We can.
Cleveland State at home, November 10th. EKU at home, November 13th. At NKU on the 16th. Then the trip to Maui. Arizona, either Ohio State or San Diego State in Game 2. Game 3 to be determined. NJIT, the 30th. Bryant, the 4th. X, the Crosstown Shootout on the 10th. Miami coming behind that on the 14th. LaSalle on the 17th. And Detroit Mercy on the 21st.
NJIT, isn't that where
Yes,
Paul McMillan?
Yeah.
All right.
So look, I get on the surface, this is not a great home slate. The biggest game being X. Other than that, there's not a lot to really write home about here. There are some strategic games. There are not a lot of what are expected to be 300 level games. There are quite a few 200 level games in there. I understand if you're a season ticket holder why you're upset about the initial reaction to this non-conference schedule.
Sure.
There are a lot of reasons that it happened. One, Cincinnati does not know at this point whether there will be 18 or 20 non-conference games next year when they enter the Big 12. So right there alone, if you're going to, what everybody wants is there should have been, and I think there would probably be an agreement with this inside the basketball offices. There probably should have been one more home and home type game scheduled to round out this specific non-conference schedule. Here's the problem. You're going into the Big 12. You don't know how many conference games, so you might have to add 2 conference games next year, which means you only get 11 non-conference games. And then you have 2 or 3 games from an MTE, multi-team event, probably 2. Another thing that messed up this year is the 3-game MTE with Maui. You're playing in one of the premier events in the country. That means you have to play 3 games at that event. That takes away the ability to schedule an extra game.
Right.
You also, if you schedule a home and home now, you are on the books for that home and home next year when you go into the Big 12. So that would mean next year you would have an MTE, 2 or 3 games. You would have the Big 12 SEC Challenge. You would have the Big East Big 12 Challenge. Then your MTE, that's 5 games. Then the Crosstown Shootout, that's 6. And guess what, Aaron?
You're dog tired because then you have the Big 12 schedule.
And guess what happens when you play in the Big 12? There's like 15 Tier 1 games in the Big 12. So if you're playing 15 Tier 1 conference games and then another 6 or 7 Tier 1 non-conference games, you're playing 20, 21, 22 Tier 1 games. You know what happens when you allow yourself to play 21 or 22 Tier 1 games? Coaching staffs get fired. I'm just shooting it straight with you. That's how you get your staff fired, right? Like, unless you have a team that's ready to like compete for a Final Four or a national championship, you're not going to survive 20, 21 Tier 1 games.
So can we talk about this season basically being an investment in next season then?
Well, it's just the reality that, like,
because
if you are behind the scenes and your assignment is to think not just short term but also long term, you don't put yourself in a position to go 6-25 next year.
Woof.
And that's what you do if you schedule above your pay grade just to make, what? I guess here's my question here. I know a lot of fans are upset. They don't like the home slate. So let's say you take out NJIT and you put in, name a random middle of the road Power 5.
In basketball, let's say
Ole Miss.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you unplugged again.
I'm annoying myself.
Anyhow, so let's say you add that one game that everybody else wants, and you're playing Mississippi State or Ole Miss or I don't know what.
Alabama was good last year.
Rutgers out, like, so okay. Does that really, like, all of a sudden you're going to be excited about the home schedule because,
one game
or Vandy or Rutgers is in there instead of NJIT? Like, no. And all that does is make things much more difficult when you're like, all everybody wanted is to be in the Big 12, right? Let's get in the Big 12. Shouldn't you allow the staff to have a fighting chance once that happens?
Well, when I said that this season should be looked at as an investment, I didn't mean by the program.
No, I know what you're saying.
I meant by the season tickets, the season ticket holders. Like you have the first opportunity to have seats for the Big 12 because you are getting through this season. It's the last season for shitty games. I mean, all the way real. It's the last season for shitty games like this. So you're going to have.
Oh, there's going to be more shitty games in the non-conference when they get to the Big 12, as there should be.
but the conference games are going to make up tenfold for what we've grown accustomed to over the course of the last decade.
Yeah.
So
I will also say, I can't get into details. I know people are going to murder me for this because I can't really say like what I mean. There's potentially something coming down the road in basketball scheduling that is game changing. And I think there is a trend around the country of like, we've got to hit the pause button to figure out how this all plays out. And when it happens, I'll go back to this and say August 25th.
Told you so.
This is what not I told you so, but this is what I was talking about. I'm I'm not telling it. Nobody's telling me I'm wrong on this because I can't. I told you so on something that nobody's telling me anything, right?
Sure.
I can just say this is what I meant down the road. There's going to be, I think, an interesting scheduling dynamic change in the non-conference that's coming.
A wrinkle.
We'll see if it actually comes to fruition. But if it does, it's going to be awesome. But that's why this thing is the way it is. Like, it's not nobody's. I'm getting really tired of hearing like they can't. I demand they do what I want with the game day music. I demand they do what I want with scheduling, even though it might not be the best thing for the program in the long term, because I'm just thinking of the short term. These are people that are constantly in meetings, developing a plan, developing what is best for the program.
I feel like the university.
Their jobs, like when it comes to something like this, people's jobs depend on it. If you schedule wrong, you can get fired.
I feel like they're listening to the fan more than
ever. Yeah.
Ever.
But for some people, that's not enough. Me. Listen to me. Come on, man. You're following a sports team. You're following. What's my favorite Mick Cronin line, Aaron? Every offseason, they tie you to the tracks. And by April, you got to untie yourself because the train's coming. And guess what? If you tie yourself to the tracks with some ninja knots, and the train comes in April and you haven't figured out how those knots get untied, the train runs over your ass and you're done.
I mean, I just knew that the quote wasn't, it's hard.
It's hard. That's not a Mick Cronin quote.
I know it's not. That's why I knew it wasn't. That's why I knew that wasn't that quote.
It's hard. You ever been in Lubbock? You ever played NJIT? It's hard. I also the other thing is, like I said, the MTE this year's 3 games. Everybody wants to be in those MTE tournaments with 3 games until you're in an MTE like Maui with the teams that Cincinnati is in the tournament with Maui.
Yeah.
You usually you play those 3-game MTEs. The first one, you get not a layup, but you get a game you should win. Cincinnati got Arizona. Right?
All I'm saying is if they end up coming out of this with a win against Arizona and a win against Ohio State, woo.
Look, if they lose to Arizona, they're probably going to have to play San Diego State, which is a team right on the same level, maybe just a tick higher than where Wes Miller is with the Bearcats. And then you're sitting at 0-2 and you got to win game 3 or, it's going to be a long flight home for Maui.
Wouldn't want to be on that chartered flight for $2,500, which apparently you can still get your seats too, according to Anthony DeFino.
You know what? And back in 2011 or whatever, everybody thought that team was going to go to Maui and get its ass kicked. 2010, whatever the last year they went to Maui with Lance, and they played in the championship game against Gonzaga. No, Gonzaga. It's not the Zogs, Aaron. It's the Zags.
Tomato.
No, no. Their nickname is not the. If their nickname was the Zogs, then it would be Gonzaga. But their nickname is literally the Zags.
You say it the way you want. I'll say it the way I want.
You can still be wrong.
The Zogs.
Real quick, Let It Fly. New episode tonight. Solid. I thought the most interesting part was the whole who's the fastest guy on the team.
That was the most interesting part to you? I liked all the behind the scenes from the wrestling.
Yeah, but we got that we already knew that with Royer last night.
The picture was painted, but to actually get to see it come to fruition was fantastic. The fact that ring's going to be around now for years to come, so long as Brady Collins is here.
Seeing the wrestling or the strength and conditioning interns in their wrestling attire, and Royer in the ring. Yeah, that was great. I give you that.
How soon before that wrestling ring ends up in the barn at Luke Fickell's house.
Probably not wrong. But those things apparently take a minute to put up.
I don't doubt that. But you think for the people who've been itching to get a piece of Fick, come on. I got the ring set up. That's not
the wrestling Luke Fickell does.
I got the ring set up. Let's go.
Luke Fickell has the wrestling he does already set up in that barn, bro.
Does he really?
He does. Oh, yeah.
He's got the mats. I didn't know he had the mats.
Oh, yeah. The mats are there. 1,000%. You think those two twin boys, those two sets of twin boys, don't have a wrestling mat in that garage? Come on, man.
Fair enough.
But the speed thing was fascinating. I know the easy choice is Trey Tucker. And a 40, I still think I'd take Tyler Scott. And Trey will kill me for that.
I think the more interesting question was...
In 100, I'd take
100.
In 100, I'd take Drew Donnelly.
I would as well. But you saw Fick. He even had to second guess himself.
I know nobody's going to believe this point of view from me. But I was a pretty high-end sprinter growing up. 100 pounds ago. And a human. It is what it is. My problem in the 100 was that I would blow everybody away for 60, 70 yards. But the guys that were bigger and had bigger strides and longer would cause me problems holding on down the stretch. Drew Donnelly has those longer strides where I think he would catch Trey Tucker and Tyler Scott down the stretch of 100. I would easily pick Trey and Tyler in a 40. But I think I'd pick Drew Donnelly in 100.
Fair enough.
Okay. You got anything else?
No. Not really. Brian Cook had a
pick. I saw that.
A pick against Green Bay tonight.
Yeah.
Returned it for what looked to be about, 15, 20 yards.
B. Cook's going to be a starting safety in the NFL for a long time.
You know what I did? You know what I did on Madden last night?
Traded for Brian Cook.
I started an offline franchise.
Yeah.
With the Falcons and traded for every single Bearcat.
See how it goes. Like how do you like Mike Boone?
Mm-hmm. Got him.
Okay. Like you went that far back.
Cope.
Yeah. You ran the gamut.
Dokes.
How much did you have to go up for Travis?
Wiggs. Travis. I don't even remember Kyle Pitts was in the trade. So yeah. Got both Kelseys though.
Nice. You're gonna have to let us know how this team performs.
Hudson, Ford.
Yeah, everybody. Like everybody.
Sauce.
The entire gamut.
Beavers. DeBlanco wasn't on the game.
No, not yet. Like you'll see that if he makes the roster
in the update. Yeah. But yeah, got them all. Chris Moore.
Oh wow. Friend of the show. Friend of the network.
Just saying. Got them all.
All right. That's fun. You're going to have to tell us how that team performs as time goes on.
Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. This is the Nightcap brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Sit!